Hey everybody, welcome to Ask Dr. Testosterone, starring Dr. George Toulianos, brought to you by his book, Bodybuilding, the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, which just came out with a new and improved version. He is a monthly contributor to Muscular Development magazine, a weekly contributor every Tuesday. It's Dr. T Tuesday, with a new article every Tuesday, as well as these videos come out every Tuesday. Please welcome from Athens, Greece, Dr. George Toulianos. How are you, sir?
Have a nice week. We have almost 1 month, about less than 30 days actually, because February has 28 days. This almost has 29.
29, yeah, it's a leap year.
29, yeah.
So
yeah, I move at the 4th over there, so it's almost 1 month before. Yes.
Now we haven't talked about this, but at the Arnold, you're not just going to spectate. You're part of the weekend. There's an Arnold education seminar that takes place Thursday. Is that correct?
I think it's on Friday on the 6th.
Friday. So tell us a little bit about what you'll be doing at the Arnold Education Seminar.
Yes. So I had an invitation by Rick Collins, attorney of the bodybuilding community. You know, I have already met twice Rick Collins, and he has my books, and I'm really in front of him. So he invited me coming at the Arnold, not just as a spectator, you know, and as part of the MD family, but also to talk in a roundtable with William Llewellyn as well about the good, the bad, and the ugly side of testosterone use, testosterone replacement therapy. But maybe we're going to talk also about PED use, and maybe also about bro science, and you know, it's going to be a discussion of 90 minutes.
Wow.
And it takes place at 9 a.m. In the Great Columbus Convention Center, you know. Yep. So I arrived there on the 4th, the day before the expo begins, on the 5th, and on the 6th is this seminar. And then we have on the 7th and the 8th, and also I'll be there. I'll leave on the 9th, but we also have the seminar of the champions, you know. Yeah.
So that's good. The seminar doesn't interfere with the contest. You'll still be able to watch all the shows like we all like to.
It's going to be a really tough lineup, this one, for the past decade. You know, it's the hardest one since 2010. So I'm very excited because this is an acknowledgement of myself and my contribution. And I have received, you know, the schedule from the Arnold Classic Festival, you know. So I'll be there with Bill and Rick.
Awesome. All right. Well, Doctor, we got a lot of great questions for you since last week. They were coming in all the way until yesterday. So here's a good one. I never heard this addressed. Can you please tell more about ADHD medicine used with PEDs? For me, there is no better pre-workout than Modafinil, Concentra, or Ritalin. But is there anything important that I need to be concerned about? Do I need to avoid some dangerous ADHD PED mix? Could you compare it with amphetamines?
Now, amphetamines belong to a class of stimulants, CNS stimulants. And amphetamines have the benefit of stimulation, of course, of adrenaline. And then we have this adrenergic effect to the receptors, and sympathetic effect, which is speeding heart rate, speeding respiration, you know, sweating, alert, and it's really mental focus. And I wouldn't say just inotropic, you know, but also amphetamines have a suppression effect to the appetite. Therefore, they may be used or abused in order to lose weight. On the other hand, they may be tricky and potentially dangerous for the cardiovascular system, to increase blood pressure or to lead to vasoconstriction and spasm of the coronary arteries, leading to, you know, acute myocardial infarction. They're also very, they have a withdrawal effect. Therefore, they're very, their effect on the CNS is, you know, is addictive.
Yeah.
Now, amphetamines are used from Formula One drivers, from MotoGP drivers, you know, and from police officers who do late night shifts. You know, they want to stay alert. Or they were abused, actually, hypothetically. I think was the reason that the daughter of Onassis used them in order to lose weight. So Christina Onassis used them, and she was pronounced dead from a heart attack due to amphetamines used in order to lose weight. You know, It suppresses appetite. But now modafinil, what I know from modafinil is that it's an inotropic drug that makes you very focused,
Yeah.
But it doesn't interfere with catecholamines. Therefore, it doesn't affect the heart rate, and the respiration. Therefore, you don't have even sweating. So it's more safe to be for not for the central nervous system, but for the cardiovascular system,
Yeah.
But modafinil is very good also for the pilots who drive the F-16, for instance, or F-35, to be very focused and give you this tunnel vision, that you need to be real concentrated. It's inotropic as also nicotine is inotropic, nicotine when we smoke, it doesn't relax. Weed does, but nicotine makes you more focused, so you can have better cognitive function, for instance, and be more concentrated. So inotropic effect by modafinil. Also, students use it, in order to study.
Right.
But students use amphetamines to stay up all night and study, However, when they stop using, then they have the withdrawal effect like cocaine, and you feel like a zombie for the rest of the day.
Yeah. So if you're on steroids, is it a bad idea to use these type of drugs like Ritalin or Modafinil?
I don't think instead of them, you can use ephedrine, for instance, which is similar, ephedrine and caffeine together.
Yeah.
Clenbuterol, I don't think it has this kind of effect. Clenbuterol affects the respiratory system. But Ecastac, yes, it can give you a really good focus and a drive to go to the gym,
Yep. Okay, cool. Next question is about cardarine. Hi, Doc. You spoke about cardarine that helps raise your HDL. What dose would you run for cardarine, and is it safe to run for long periods of time?
I think cardarine comes in liquid version, and it's injectable to the subcutaneous, maybe. And I think the dose would be 10 milligrams. So you can use this every other day. So it comes in 5 milligrams. There was a friend of mine. Actually, he's an attorney. He's my lawyer. And he used it 10 milligrams every day. And he managed to elevate his HDL. But it's more beneficial to use cardarine along with your cardio because it shifts your energy production, and the energy stores are shifted from the anaerobic to the aerobic,
Yeah.
So it's better to do cardio with cardarine because besides cardio will itself elevate HDL. Now about the safety, it was shown that using high doses to rats, it leads to cancer. But imagine that 10 milligrams to a rat is a massive overdose.
Yeah.
Because a rat is 100 grams, for instance, the body weight, and you give you 100 kilos weight of a man, So it's quite disproportional, the dose that lead rats to cancer. Yeah. But cardarine, frankly, it's way more GW, is way more effective than niacin on the HDL. There's an FBB Pro in Greece who uses cardarine, and his HDL is over 40,
So I mean, but there's been no human trials, no studies.
No, not at all.
Cardarine. No. Of course not. I mean, it's not a legitimate pharmaceutical drug. Here's a good question, and I got to tell you what I used to do after this. So someone wanted to know, can I use 1 ampule of Sustanon 250 a week with 2 shots a week? In other words, is it a healthy thing to preload a syringe for the second injection? In other words, oil waiting in the syringe for 3 days. Before you answer, you're gonna think I'm the biggest idiot ever. But years ago, just because I like to be prepared and I'm a little OCD, I would load up a month's worth of syringes. And this is like when I was in prep. So that's a lot of, I was, using like 3 or 4 different injectables. So I had a stack of preloaded syringes weeks ahead of time with little notes on them, what it was and what day I was going to take them. Which
Paranoid.
You tell me if that was a bad idea, because it's the plastic in the syringe. I don't know how long it's safe to leave it like that for.
As far as it's on the fridge, it's 4 Celsius. Then there's no microbe cultivation, And you can also put them in a plastic envelope sealed.
Yeah.
So there's no also air into it.
Yeah. I didn't do that.
Personally, because I do shallow intramuscular injections and microdoses, I put them on the fridge, nearby the eggs.
Okay.
So yes. So I open up the fridge, when I have to do it, and then do it. Otherwise, I avoid leaving them in a warm environment. There's a higher possibility to get contaminated.
Mm.
Actually, the medical board in UK does not permit this. So to my patients that I consult through Skype and on the UK, they force them to use at least one ampoule or half ampoule every week.
Mm.
So off the record they can, but officially they're not allowed to use this, to store all the syringe with the oil injection inside. So they cannot really afford it because it costs perhaps one testosterone ampoule costs about 10 pounds. So really it's not cost effective, to use one ampoule every week.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is the wisest way and the most economic way to do,
Right. Now, I'm curious. Can contaminants from is it plastic or latex these syringes are made of? It's plastic, right?
Yes.
Can that eventually get into the oil if you leave it in there long enough? Don't know.
Oh, as long as when you prepare the injection, and suck the oil content into the syringe, then it has to be really with your clean hands, and do not have dirty environment. But when we have the Nebido comes in vial of 4 ml, so it's more safe to use the Nebido and keep it in a room temperature. However, you have to sterilize each time you drop the oil with a pure alcohol 95%.
Talking about wiping off the rubber stopper before you take it
Yes,
out?
exactly. Yes. Each time.
Okay. Here's a good one. How do you deal with guys on TRT who have super low SHBG, below range, not getting benefits from TRT? Have you employed strategies to raise SHBG in your patients?
I don't find a really good reason to elevate SHBG because low SHBG deals with higher free testosterone, which is the bioavailable and the one you feel it's the 2%, but it's the real deal. However, a low SHBG is managed by using higher doses less frequently, for instance, using once a weekly, okay?
Mm-hmm.
For instance, every Monday to shoot 200 milligrams. In this way, you're going to crash on SHBG and you're going to liberate much more free testosterone the day after or 48 hours after when the ester will spike, okay?
Yeah.
However, in this way, the disadvantage of this protocol is you don't have stable testosterone levels the 2 days before, for instance, during the weekend, during the nadir levels, the lowest.
Yeah.
Therefore, you're gonna suffer. You're not gonna feel so euphoric and hyper as the 2 days after the injections. So when there is a window of 1 week. Now, in order to avoid this and have more steady levels, you have to, if you perform frequent smaller doses, then you have more steady levels. You don't spike also on estradiol like the first time, because when you shoot a large dose, you're gonna spike on estradiol also. But on the other hand, when you perform smaller and frequent doses, you kind of elevate your SHBG because it's the opposite.
Gotcha.
Therefore, by this scenario, you can elevate your SHBG. So smaller doses. If you want to also elevate your free testosterone, you have to elevate your TRT dose by crashing your SHBG. So it's disproportional, free testosterone and SHBG. Large doses crash on SHBG and liberate free testosterone. Smaller doses have more steady environment, but elevate SHBG and kind of lower free testosterone. However, I use also Proviron, and no matter how frequent I use my protocol, I ensure with Proviron to lower my SHBG. But Proviron is not available in the States.
Well, not legally, no. I mean, most of the stuff these people
you
watching.
Can find it in Mexico. You can find it in Mexico.
They can find it somewhere. You can find anything if you have the money and you know where to look. You can find anything.
Also, another way to elevate your SHBG was to perform IF, intermittent fasting, or prolonged dieting, with low carbs, keto dieting, because insulin is known to lower SHBG. So fasted, you will elevate your SHBG. And there was a case, the lab work of a guy who was on keto diet for many years, and he was having poor sex drive, not because of his total testosterone, because of his free testosterone, that he was affected by the elevated SHBG due to very low insulin, due to keto diet, So introducing carbs will make you more horny because they will crash through insulin your SHBG. This is funny about endocrinology,
Well, there's another reason not to do the keto diet, guys. Huh?
So if you carb up, you'll have a better hard-on,
Well, see, that's why I love my carbs. Yeah, I do. I'm not a low carb guy. I love carbs. Here's a good question, Doctor. Ron and Dr. T, what are the highest and lowest doses of primo ball you have used in the past? Does it matter if you run the primo higher than test? Say 500 milligrams test and anthate, primo at 600 milligrams. People say primo is no good, but they ran low doses for a short time. If I'm on 500 milligrams test and anthate, 600 milligrams primo, 500 milligrams EQ, 25 milligrams Proviron AM and PM, half an Arimidex Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Is 16 to 20 weeks too long? I've used Equipoise for about 8 to 10 weeks before I noticed it was working. So first off, highest and lowest dose of primo that you personally ever ran?
So I run primo since 2000, and my lowest dose would be 100 milligrams per week in order to see if there's any distortion to the lipids or to the liver, and there was not. So 100 milligrams once a week is good because primo has the enanthate ester, which is similar to it's identical to the testosterone enanthate. So they match, and they can be used also once a week.
Yeah.
This is a dose also for women, 100 milligrams.
Yeah.
Now the highest would be about 600 milligrams, a week, which is the first dose of primo because it's a weak anabolic, considerably. But I think there was a week when I have picked Deca and primo. So MPP was 1 gram and primo was close to 800.
Okay.
The good thing about primo is that you don't care about aromatization. There's no conversion, of DHT into estrogen.
Yeah.
What was the next one?
Okay, so he wants to know, does it matter if you run the dose of Primabol and higher than your dose of testosterone?
Now, he uses, I think, 500 milligrams of testosterone and 600 milligrams of primo. This is very close. I mean, the perfect analogy would be 1-to-1, which is very close. Yeah. But when you use 19 nor, so Tren and Deca, it would be 2-to-1, so double tested on those agents. So roughly it's good, yes, 5 to 6. Besides primo, you have to know that it elevates your free testosterone as a DHT derivative and improves also sex drive, and also the fact it doesn't aromatize. Also, there's no estrogen production that estrogen may affect negatively sex drive if they're much accumulated, So there's no problem with that.
So his last part of his question was, he wanted to know if 16 to 20 weeks on this cycle is too long in your opinion. So again, 500 milligrams test and anthate, 600 milligrams primo a week, and 500 milligrams equipoise a week. Is that too long to do for 16 to 20 weeks?
This is these drugs, all of them are kind of safe, moderate doses. I think his concern would be elevation of hematocrit. I don't think that lipids will be messed up in case he performs daily cardio and a clean diet. Yes, okay, 3 to 4 months, yes, are fine.
Okay. The last thing he said was, I've used Equipoise for about 8 to 10 weeks before I noticed it was working. I don't think it takes that long.
We have said that before, that it's very low, it's very prolonged ester, resembles of Nebido and Deca. So after 1 month, you're going to start kicking, your Equipoise.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. For me to answer, sir, I've only run primo a couple times, and it's a long time ago. I want to say it was in the 400 to 500 milligrams a week range, strictly as a pre-contest, probably the last month before a show. Can't tell you it did anything special, but I have heard that over in the Middle East, Kuwait, Dubai, places like that, primobolan is a lot more popular than testosterone. Supposedly they run a lot more primo than they do test. I don't know if that's true or not, but there's a lot of rumors that come out of, people always want to know. Here's a good one. Strange question. Let's hope you can help this man. My skin itches uncontrollably when I start to sweat. My head is covered in small bumps that the doctor said might be folliculitis. I now have bad acne all over my back and shoulders. So far, my face is pretty clear. The itching drives me mad. It's been happening for a long time, even before I used any gear. How can I stop it? Please help. And the acne, what can I do to control it? I've been taking tests in Anavar. I'm going to stop the Anavar and go down to 1 ml of test per week from 1.5 ml of 250. The itching is my main concern, but the acne is becoming a problem fast. By the way, the itching starts to stop after I've been sweating heavy for about 35 or 40 minutes. I guess because my pores have unblocked maybe. I don't take any pre-workout or supplement powders, just food and a bit of gear. It's a strange question for you, Doc. I don't know what you're going to do for this guy with the itching.
About the acne, he can use retinoic acid. He can also use azelaic acid. He can also use clindamycin lotion. So the last two are local applied, and the other one, the Accutane, is oral. He can also use purified alcohol to clean up the area. He can also use tanning, tanning beds to dry out the sebum.
Yeah.
And he can also to cut off the androgens or testosterone to lower it, because androgen reduces to DHT, and DHT is responsible for that, for the sebum production. He can also, in case he cultivates, this disgusting material that comes out of it, he can use some antibiotics. So maybe he used some penicillin for that. But also, this itching effect may be related, I'm not sure about it, maybe, because I've also experienced with elevated hematocrit. So, yes. And, itchiness to me at the gym starts right after I start sweating, So kind of itchy when you get also niacin. Because also I have elevated hematocrit more than usual. I guess because he's also into running something, that this is a sign of elevated hematocrit.
Yeah.
Now, if this kind of reaction becomes nasty, maybe he has to use some drugs which are antihistaminic, that they kind of, they suppress also, they relax. But for this allergic reaction, mast cells are responsible, and actually histamine blocks suppress the mast cell, their metabolism. So it's a multifactorial, this question, and he has to check out his hematocrit and also try some medication for the acne, or even for this itching effect, try antihistaminic drugs.
Benadryl, that's what we take over here. We love our Benadryl. Makes you sleepy, though.
You cannot drive afterwards, eh?
No, it makes you a little sleepy. It's good. A lot of people actually just take Benadryl so they can go to sleep. They don't have any symptoms that they need it for. It's just like a lot of people figured out it makes you sleepy, so they take a shot of it to go to bed every night. So now, doctor, you're not a dentist, but we're going to throw a dental related question at you. Will taking oral steroids sublingually, as you often have advised people to do, rot my teeth or gums? I take Adderall and I think about taking that sublingually, but then I think of meth drug addicts and their rotten teeth.
I don't think so. I mean, rotten teeth have to do with gingivitis and living food stuff after you don't brush your teeth after each meal. No, it has nothing to do with this. I mean, these pills, they're about to be dissolved under the tongue with the saliva, but they don't give you this kind of rotten tooth, which is it's about hygiene. It's about the how clean is your stomach, your mouth after you consume food.
Yeah, I believe steroids are sugar free, so they shouldn't be rotting your teeth anyway.
So it's irrelevant. Yeah, some of them are really bitter. When you taste.
Yeah, I've never tasted one that was delicious like candy. So if they were, they probably were candy. Here we go. Are there any drugs besides GHRP, MK677, and marijuana that increase appetite? Maybe some certain vitamins or minerals?
I think Equipose is notorious for that, and also injectable cobalamin B12.
Okay, cool. Equipoise for sure. A lot of guys get nice, healthy horse-like appetites when they take Equipoise. Here's one. Dr. T, can you do an open disclosure update with Fakhri Mubarak on his special situation with high blood pressure and high protein levels? So I don't know. Have you ever talked to Fakhri? Because we did a show. Tom and I had him on a year or longer ago talking about his kidney problems. But I haven't heard anything since then. I think he's doing much better. Have you been in contact with him at all?
No, I think Chris Bumstead had a problem with his kidneys on 2018.
It's called Berger's disease. He has
Berger disease. Actually, Berger disease in pathology. It was related with smoking, and it affects the arteries of the foot. Yes,
Wow.
but it's about circulation issues, you know. But was there elevated creatinine or lower glomerular filtration rate with Mubarak?
I don't remember, honestly. I mean, I wonder if this person's confusing you with Dr. O'Connor, because, like I said, we did a whole show with Fakhri, but yeah, so maybe this is the wrong question. Shall we move on? Let's move on.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so remember a couple weeks ago we had a very, very long question from a guy. We figured out he was 18 because he said he was writing for a friend or something, but this is him again. So here we go. He calls himself Arthur Corleone, MD, CPA. But anyway, he's a young kid. Is there any way somebody can stay jacked and lean, not like a pro bodybuilder, but like a celebrity, without having to care about diet? Of course, not eating too much, but eating unhealthy like normal people, at least like 50 years old. If somebody decides to live on 300 milligrams of testosterone cypionate. Now remember, this is the guy that wanted to take the big doses of gear to make his voice deeper, remember? Like mega doses? Okay.
Yeah.
So he wants to know if could you live on 300 milligrams of test sip a week and 25 milligrams of Arimidex the day of the injection, blocking the aromatase when there's the highest peak of testosterone. Could a person do that and stay healthy till 50 years old? I want to be healthy, looking good, hit the gym, but without having to eat all the time. Maybe take a month per year, 1 month, cutting some fat burners to get 11% body fat and stay the rest of the year like that. If somebody did that, how this person could keep healthy? Baby aspirin at 25 milligrams per day? What's your answer, doctor?
Now this guy is looking for shortcuts.
Yes.
And first of all, he says, "Can I eat junk?" No, you cannot eat junk and be healthy. Number two, he says, "I don't want to eat all the time." These are two different things. So it's important to eat clean, but also it's important to eat constantly every 3 hours.
Yeah.
So if you don't have it with nutrition, get away from drugs, you know, because they don't work if you follow a flabby diet, if you are lazy at the gym, you know.
Right.
They're not the miraculous silver bullets, you know.
Yeah.
They have a synergistic effect along with serious diet and with nutrition. Otherwise, you're going to have a very average result and your labs are going to be messed up. So no good, no benefit. So the lab works and the dyslipidemia mainly reflect on the way we eat, on the nutrition. Yeah. So who told you that Hollywood stars eat junk food? I bet that they eat the best food quality that exists. You know, I remember Stallone had his chef when he was moving in his trailer, you know, everywhere he went to shoot it. Yeah, so it means that every 3 hours you have the elite of the food with you, okay? Yep. He has his own gym in his truck. So I don't think now. I don't know about narcotics and other recreational drugs, but you have to eat clean, you know, to remain healthy, and you have to eat constantly to have a constant anabolic effect, you know.
Yeah.
Because food is the gas in order to lift and in order to make muscles, to synthesize, to anabolize.
Yeah. Now, I want to talk to this gentleman for just a minute. You know, I appreciate you watching the show. Don't get me wrong, but I gotta give you some reality, kid. You can't eat that way and expect to be a bodybuilder. Bodybuilders, the hardest part of bodybuilding is the eating. Everybody likes to go to the gym and lift weights. That's easy. Millions and millions of people do that, but very few.
Depends how you lift. But the point is, you have to be really good in everything.
Yeah. And if you want to eat, he wants to eat unhealthy. Like you want to eat like a normal person. You're going to look like a normal person. You might have a little bit more muscle, but you're never going to look very good. And
Yes, we
another
are
thing,
what we eat. Yes.
he also talks about dieting once a year. So you only want to diet 1 month a year while you're using fat burners to get lean, and then you think you're going to maintain that level of body fat the rest of the year. No, first of all, why do you need to start? You can't diet without using fat burners? Come on, kid. I mean, I didn't touch a drug or any kind of illegal fat burner until I was in my late 20s, early 30s. Especially the fat burner stuff. I didn't touch any of that until I was, geez,
This is
32.
totally
Anyway,
a wrong perspective,
yeah, I mean, you're getting into it for the wrong reasons. You got to work for this stuff, kid. Plus, but I'm saying if you do get lean in 1 month, which is very unrealistic, once you go back to eating that crappy food, you're going to gain all the body fat back again. Why would you think you get lean and then you're going to stay that way? It doesn't work that way. Nutrition it's the hardest part of bodybuilding. And if you're not ready for that, then you're not ready to be a bodybuilder. I'm sorry. Sorry, kid. Couple more questions. Here's one, doctor. Does using short ester drugs like testpropionate everyday dose in every day convert to less estrogen than if you're using test enanthate every other day?
Well, actually, every kind of ester, including the suspension that has no ester, which is 100% utilized, every kind of testosterone is converted to estrogen. However, the benefit of the short esters like suspension, there is no ester, of course, or the propionate, is that they clear the system faster. In this way, when the system gets rid of it, then there's no chance of converting into estrogens, unlike the enanthate or the cypionate or the andecaunate, that they remain the system more, and there's a higher rate of conversion into estrogen. So I told you that before my show, the day I won my second show was 11 years ago. Before leaving home, I injected 400 milligrams of testosterone suspension in order to get this heart effect. Yeah. However, even though I was using 2 milligrams of Arimidex every day, AM and PM 1 and 1, I noticed one of my nipples were kind of, pimped out. So this was conversion into estrogen, because all this week I was not using estrogenic drugs, Yep. So yet there is a lower conversion to estrogen, and they say also propionate does not give you this kind of bloating from aromatization. But yet, if you abuse a large dose, then there might be a case of aromatization.
Gotcha. Okay. What is the average daily dose of HCG you recommend?
Well, I'm in fond of smaller doses and more frequent, So what I do is 250 IUs every other day, so 1,000 every week. Okay. But you can also do 500 IUs, so 250 twice a week.
Gotcha. Okay. Final question, probably the most important question of the show, doctor, comes from Squat Junkie on the MD forums. Wants to know, have you ever heard the song Alexander the Great by Iron Maiden?
Yes, this video clip refers to the greatest wrestler of all time was Alexander Karelin from USSR. Oh. From Russia. He was 6'5", he was enormous, he was about 285. He gave 890 fights, and he lost just twice in his life. He won 888 times. Huh. He won 3 gold Olympic medals in Barcelona, in Sydney. I'm sorry. In Seoul, 88, in Barcelona, 92, and in Atlanta. And he lost the chance of having the 4th Olympic gold by losing to an American in Sydney, just by 1-0, Actually, this American guy never managed to do anything in the next Olympic Games in Athens, 2004. But Karelin, was like a machine, killer machine, He was 130 kilos. He was able to make this kind of, lift. There's a video clip, you can see this. And there was an interesting thing about him. I knew a guy who knew his coach in Yugoslavia, and I met this guy at the gym. He told me that Karelin had 1 box of peds in pills, and he was using different on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday. Every day he was doing different drugs. And another friend of mine who who was studying sports, science in Budapest.
Yeah.
He saw him live because he attended to a neurosurgeon because he had a severe hernia, and he told me that his neck was 20 inches.
Wow.
Like a tree, like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I thought this song was about Alexander the Great from Macedonia from like 4,000 years ago.
Yeah, but Alexander the Great and Alexander Karelin, and he's a killer. Yeah.
Oh, I got to congratulate you. Got Greece made history. You elected your first female president ever recently.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, when did you guys have your elections?
We had them last July. We have a new government. Of kind of, you say, Republicans, because there was a leftish government for the past 4.5 years.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Actually, the prime minister of Greece was a schoolmate of mine.
Huh.
We went to the same school. He's older than me 5 years, but we graduated from Athens College.
Did you ever meet him?
Yeah, several times, and we talk friendly. But this is kind of social thing.
Yeah. You weren't trying to become like the Surgeon General or something of, like Trump. Trump appointed all his friends to all these cabinet positions in the White House, but maybe they don't do that everywhere. Okay, cool. All right, doctor, thank you. I want to remind everyone else one more time, they can get this book, the new version. I still have the previous version, but we have Bodybuilding, the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly, a brand new improved version available on your website, gtoul.com. You can also get it on amazon.com. And if you're going to the Arnold Classic, Dr. Touliatos is going to be part of the Arnold Education Seminar taking place on Friday. And of course, every Tuesday, it's Dr. T Tuesday over at musculardevelopment.com. We drop these new videos every Tuesday, and Dr. Touliatos publishes a brand new article every Tuesday. So check that out. Dr. T, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it very much. Yeah.
You're welcome.
And that's it, guys. We're counting down to the Arnold Classic, so we'll see you next time.